Oh my God. Okay. So joining us is singer-songwriter KELSEA Ballerini, and Salt and I have talked about this before. Celebrities doing Zoom calls with us feels so intimate and cool. It's like
It's like a FaceTime.
it's so fangirlish right now. Welcome to Hartford.
Thank you. How's it going?
It's a nice day out here. It's not raining, so life's good.
Yeah, love that. It's about to start pouring in Nashville. It's been so rainy this week.
Oh, speaking of Nashville, I heard that Taylor Swift was one of your big influencers to get you to move to Nashville. And coincidentally, she's got an album dropping. Of course, your album came out in March. But I think it's so cool that singer-songwriters and women band together and stick together and help each other through this, I know, very difficult industry to be in, especially for women.
I mean, one of the coolest things that's happened, because I'm such a fangirl, like one of the coolest things that's happened since I've gotten to have an artist journey is having other females that influenced me growing up turn around and like reach out their hand to me and give me knowledge and give me and like share their stage with me. And she was one of the first people to do that for me. And like, I'll always be so just in awe and grateful of her.
So are you on her new album?
No, but I'm so excited about it.
I mean, she's got all these collaborations. We don't know anything about it. And this is, typically with Taylor, there's a lot of hints that, go up to it. So that's why we're just asking anybody if they're on it because we have no info.
Yeah, no, we've talked, but we've talked mainly about recipes, not about music. So I'm really excited to hear it.
Oh, recipes? Do you guys share recipes? Like what in particular?
Well, I wasn't a great cook until this year because I was just like, what do you cook on a tour bus? Nothing. So I like now that we're home all the time, my husband's a vegetarian and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to just eat like kale every day so what can I do that's going to be fun? And so I just started trying to learn how to cook yummy stuff. And she's like such a chef. So I'll be like, hey, any good recipes? And then she'll send me some. Yeah, that's what we talk about.
So are you a vegetarian now by proxy, or do you cook stuff that's vegetarian friendly and then you just add protein to it later, like a meat or something?
When I'm home, I'm vegetarian, but like I'll go on a run.
In-N-Out Burger.
I know what that is. I know what
Burger King.
And I every time I end up at Chick-fil-A. I don't know how.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So
I'm like probably 80% vegetarian now, but I'm not like strict about it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the process of singer-songwriting. I went down the rabbit hole on Hamilton Film, and then I bought the book as to how Lin-Manuel Miranda made it. And I have no knowledge of music theory. I can't read music. It's fascinating to me how you put this whole product together. And I know your latest album, really, you produced it. You really put your life's work into it. So what does it take really to pull out that kind of effort and product?
It's interesting because I used to think that to be like a respected musician, you had to be able to play all these instruments and you had to be able to read music like you're saying and all that stuff. And I took music classes, I took piano lessons. It never clicked for me. Like my brain could not compute reading notes in a stack. Like I just couldn't get it. And I was so discouraged by that. But then when I picked up the guitar, it was something that I more so just felt. And so for me, writing songs has nothing to do with like actually writing the notes out. It's like, it's really just about how it feels. And so like, it's completely opposite to how people on Broadway do it. Like it's so technically perfect. And I have just the most amount of respect for people that can do that. I just so can't. But with producing this album for the first time, like being a part of the production team, it was really, I was surrounded by co-producers where I could be like, okay, I can't pick up this instrument and play this. So I'm just going to sing to you what I'm like hearing in my head. And then we're going to go through and find the right EQ for it. We're going to find the right vibe for it. And so it was really fun to be able to just like know my strengths and then have people to like actually be able to do it,
It seems like you're a part of the next generation of artists that might have started in country, but they have a pop crossover sound. Do you have any plans to possibly cross over into pop? I know you did the recent collaboration with Halsey, and you definitely have an amazing sound that can go play on country radio. It can play on pop radio. It can play anywhere.
I mean, you even have hip hop influences on this latest album. So, I mean, you kind of cover all the bases.
Yeah, I mean, I love music, and I grew up on everything. I grew up in East Tennessee, but I grew up, like, my first concert was Britney Spears. So you hear that in my music. You hear that I grew up on a farm, and you hear that my first concert was Britney Spears. And that's always how I've really wanted to protect it, because that's what's real to me and true to me, and how I hear it and how I write it, what I'm inspired by. So I think even on this record, I pushed it farther where the country sounds are a little more country. And then the pop sounds are more pop, and I just let that live, because I think music's in this really cool place where the lines are starting to blend a bit more, and good music is just good music, and it should be able to be in between lines and living on more stations than one if it fits, So I'm really excited to have this song with Halsey on pop radio. I think it's such a treat to have a song of mine that's on my album live in a place that it hasn't lived before.
What's it like for you when you meet your heroes and icons and people that you grew up listening to you, and now you're able to collaborate with them and have them be a direct part of what you're working on? Does it like reveal the person behind the curtain in a good way, or like what is it? What that must be very surreal.
It's more so songwriters that I've gotten to work with that I'm like awestruck by. In Nashville, there's a woman named Hillary Lindsay who, I mean, she wrote Jesus Take the Wheel. She wrote A Million Reasons with Gaga. Like, she's just insanely brilliant. And so when I first met her, I was just like, not well. Not well. And now she's become a friend, and like she's a big part of this last record, and I just love her so much. But still, like, I've had to separate this part in my brain, because when I say I'm a fangirl, like, I would save up my money from working in a cupcake shop, and I would buy nosebleed seats to every show that came to town. And I would wait in line for hours for a meet and greet with people. I have the photos, like, it's a thing. So I think that I have to switch to this part in my brain of like, it gets to a place where it's either like, you're always going to be that to me, or we're going to switch over to being sweatpants friends. And if we switch over to being sweatpants friends, that means that we've invested enough time in the friendship to where I can switch off that part of my brain and just go, okay, cool, you're just my buddy now, Yeah.
Have you ever showed them the meet and greet photos with them before and been like, so I gotta let you in a little secret. I've met you before.
It's my end of tour gift most of the time, because all of the people that I've opened for on tour, I have meet and greet photos with. And so I usually just like let it happen at the end of the tour, so they don't really think that I'm going to like linger around the bus. Yeah. And then for the end of tour, I'm like, thank you so much for the 53 shows that you let me open for you. Here's a picture of me when I was 13 outside of the barricade. Yeah.
So now we're in quarantine, and I saw on your Twitter that you have several like mask photos. You're big into like, wear your mask, do your part, be safe. How's quarantine affecting your relationship? I'm here with my husband and my kids. Salt is with his wife and his kids. We're all going a little stir crazy.
It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. We're both used to being on the road. He's an artist as well. So it's been like 5 years of marriage in 5 months. But it's been really good for us. Like, we've never had this much time together, and I feel like it's been really healthy for us to like get to know each other. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like you. Like, more so than just like seeing you 2 days a week and like the infatuation of that. Like, I just really truly, like, I love you obviously, but I really like you a lot too, which I think sometimes you forget that's a part of a marriage, is like, you want to like play games with them and like be silly and have that childlike part of the relationship too, that we've really gotten to grow this time, which has been nice.
So have you heard from Chase Rice since you called him out a couple weeks ago? I mean, no, I thought it was wonderful, and I loved it because you weren't the only one that did it. And I feel like this is a great move, because we have to police each other in this society. And when somebody goes out and does something like that, it's a bonehead move.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a very loud person. Like, I don't like to be polarizing. I keep a lot of my opinions to myself. But when it comes to safety and when it comes to me and all my peers that are being responsible and trying to do the right thing and trying to take care of our crews and band still, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's our job as public people, whatever that looks like, whatever scale that's on, to promote safety, period. That's just how I feel. And I think when I saw that, I was like, not only are you not standing up for like yourself and your band and your crew and their safety and their family's safety, like you're going to set everyone else back. And I just thought it was really disrespectful.
For people who don't know, he had a big, massive concert and you were like, listen, you got to be thoughtful.
Yeah, like just do a little better.
Yeah, do a little better.
Do a little better. And I would have said it to anyone that did it. Like, I like Chase. We've had a lot of shows together, and I think he's a great artist in the format. And it's nothing against him as a human. It's just like, I wish that it would have been a little more thought through. That's all.
So I was listening to your song, and one of the and the Halsey and your new song, or not new song, the song that we're playing with Halsey. And there's a line in there. It says, "Are you the one he's talking to when he gets up and leaves the room?" And like that line, I think any woman or man who listens to it, it cuts. Because you're just like, we've all seen our significant other get up and leave the room with their phone in their hand. And you're like,
the whole idea behind The Other Girl is basically like, the boy is mine, or does he love you, if you're a country fan. Like this kind of cinematic story where you're both playing a character and you find out that you're in a love triangle. And it's basically the song's like, oh wait, like, am I the other girl or are you the other girl? Like, who came here first? Who's the chicken? Who's the egg? Kind of thing. And so, yeah, the whole thing, it's interesting because it really is such a story song where we're able to step into this character. It's not so personal, but we've both been in relationships where we've gotten cheated on. So I think we both also can connect to it on that level and draw from that. But yeah, the whole thing's very like angsty.
yes.
Yeah.
Who are we going to see you collaborate with next? Who is on that list? Because we all have that list of person. Like for Christy and I, if we're in radio, it's like who we want to interview. Who as an artist would you love to work with is on the top of your list?
It's a good question. I mean, this is the first album where I've had collaborations, so it's still a really new thing to me. I love having the absolute difference of Halsey and Kenny Chesney on one album. I think that's like just what I listen to. And so I don't know. I think I want to keep like pushing my own boundaries. So I couldn't tell you who would be next, but I'm loving collaborating. So it'll definitely be something.
And they both look great shirtless, like sleeveless. It's wonderful. It's, yeah.
Well, we're very excited about The Other Girl and your latest album, KELSEA. What are you working on next? You've already used your name, KELSEA. So is your next album going to be Ballerini or?
That's funny.
You just line them up.
I am working on something right now that I'm really excited about. That will come out soon. And it's, I put out my record March 20th. It was like the week that the country shut down, and it was
that's the day we left the office. Like that's March 20th. I'll never forget it.
I still have the calendar up on the wall. It hasn't changed. I haven't touched it.
Yeah.
It was a really, things are obviously still dark and unknown, but like it was really dark, and it was kind of like the train had left the station. We were putting the album out regardless. But I also wanted to be respectful that I was not what needed to be talked about that week. So we wanted to find a way to basically try it again, if that makes sense. And so without saying too much, I don't know. I am working on something. I'm really excited about it. And I love the album I put out, and I just am excited to do it again.
So it's the Taylor Swift collaboration is what we're talking about right now, right?
I promise you, if I was just like sitting on a Taylor Swift collaboration, you would see me like just be squirming to tell you I don't have one.
Okay, you have a Taylor Swift cookbook coming out.
Yes.
I don't.
Okay.
Well,
KELSEA Ballerini cookbook. That would be great too. It's for beginners. It's great.
Yeah. Just very like 10-minute meals. Very like the least. Doing the least.
That's fantastic. Well, KELSEA, thank you so much. You're a joy to talk to. We love your music, and we hope you come back and talk to us again when your new album drops that you're working on right now.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.